Hello and welcome back to the Economist's New York Eastmed Summit. My name is Joan Hoey and I'm Director for Europe at the Economist Intelligence Unit. I'd like to welcome all of you to our next panel, Boosting the Region's Recovery Through Stability and Cooperation. So in this panel, we're still going to be focused on doing business in the Eastern Med region and looking at how the region can attract more investment. But we're going to have a look at from a regional perspective and look at the opportunities for new partnerships and new growth models. So we have, again, 4 speakers who I'd like to introduce now. The first speaker is Shelly Porges, co-founder and managing director of Beyond the Billion and the $1 Billion Fund for Women. Welcome. The next speaker is Michaelis Mikhail, who's the chairman of Invest Cyprus. The next speaker is Aristos Konstantin, trade commissioner at the Cyprus Embassy Trade Center, New York. And the final speaker on the panel this afternoon is Alex Boulouris, who is a CFA and co-head of research at Wood & Company, which is a leading investment bank in the region. So welcome, all of you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us at the summit today. Really looking forward to hearing what you've got to say and continuing the discussion that we've had in previous panels. So let's turn to you first of all, Shelly, to get your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thank you to the Economist team, especially to Nectaria Pasarviakis, President and CEO of Economist Events for Greece, Cyprus, Malta, and Southeastern Europe, as well as to my friend John Garagoulas, who has involved me for a long time now in various economic efforts in Cyprus and in the region. So it's been quite a pleasure. Thank you. And on that note of engaging in economic initiatives, let me share with you an opportunity for GDP growth and innovation in the Mediterranean region that perhaps you have not considered to this point. Imagine if you had developed a technique for creating a human organ out of a patient's own stem cell. And then imagine if you also obtained a patent for that, obtained regulatory approval, started a company, mobilized hospitals, clinics, and medical practitioners to deploy that technology. And then imagine if you still couldn't get funded to scale it. Imagine all the lives lost for lack of human organs. This is exactly what happened to a young innovator named Eleni Antoniadou, a Greek-born American who pitched to us at the Cartier Women's Initiative Award a number of years ago when I was president of the North American jury. We were so impressed with this young woman, this young innovator, and all that she accomplished in a very relatively short amount of time. Well, Eleni won the Cartier Award. And the Cartier, by the way, the Cartier Women's Initiative is the largest women's business plan competition in the world with over $1 million of non-dilutive grants. She won the Cartier Award. She was challenged to find further funding, however, and she certainly wasn't alone. In 2019, women-founded companies received less than 3% of all venture capital globally. 3%. And even if you counted any company that had even one woman founder on a gender diverse teams, that only brought you to 12% totally, meaning that 88% of all venture capital was going to male only founding teams. This despite the fact that women are innovating across the board and delivering superior returns that are 23 to 63% higher than all male founding teams. And when I say across the board, I am talking about AI robotics, agtech, edtech, cleantech, fintech, cyber, and so much more. Name a sector, B2B SaaS, etc. Women are innovating in these sectors. And yet, despite a revolution in women's launching businesses across the globe, in the Mediterranean, the rate of women's entrepreneurship is 2 to 3 times lower than the worldwide rate. What if we could boost this by providing networks, resources, and funding to scale these enterprises. Can we afford to leave half the world's population, half these countries' populations behind? I don't think so. The OECD estimates that by further enabling women's economic empowerment in EU member states, it would lead to GDP per capita increase between 6 and almost 10%. In my work at the US State Department as Secretary Hillary Clinton's Senior Advisor for Global Entrepreneurship, I was proud to foster entrepreneurial ecosystems that would advance women as well as men, contributing to both innovation and economic growth in the region. As an Israeli-born American, I was especially proud to do this in Israel, my country of birth, as well as in Greece. I then continued to do this work after I left the State Department when I was invited to be part of an international advisory business council for the president of Cyprus a number of years ago. And in fact, Minister Petridis mentioned that he was deputy minister at that time, and we worked closely with him, and I worked closely with him as well. And since then, my focus has been on building a venture ecosystem that funds women-led innovation. Because without the funding, we can't scale these innovations for the benefit of all. The fact that all male teams were getting 88% of all venture capital globally was the opportunity that we at the $1 Billion Fund for Women saw, and now beyond the billion that we are addressing. We have mobilized over 90 funds globally, investing over $1 billion into women-founded companies because we know that when you invest in women, you're in good company. So this is our story. Please run the video. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shelley. Thanks. That's certainly very inspiring story and video.